Alright, welcome back everybody to the channel. We finished up the side profile last time when we left off on the driver's side. So, I was looking at the side skirt, what we did and everything, and I really, wasn't digging it. So, I decided to change the design to really mimic the front that we did and the metalwork, the way that looked. So here's the new look here. So what we got is you have a shape that's coming down, coming out, and then it's swerving in. So it's kind of got a pretty cool dimension to it. I like this design, I think, a lot better. It kind of matches what I was going for. So again, this is going to be all see-through. You'll be able to see right through that. I still think I'm going to put something here to bring that body line all the way up towards the front of the vehicle. But I decided to switch gears once I got all that fixed, and I wanted to go to the rear of the vehicle. I ended up picking up a full 1950 Mercury front clip. So it took me 4 hours to get out there. Got out there in a Chevy Malibu, and the guy was like, "How are you gonna fit all this in the car? What, are you gonna strap to the roof or something?" And I told him, "No, I'm gonna, if it's okay with you, I'd like to disassemble it, and I think I can fit it in the car." And it took me about a good 45 minutes to take everything apart, put it in the car, and it came with the front bumper and a bumperette. Here's the bumperette right here, and it's like show quality chrome. And supposedly the front of the clip was in a fire, but it really didn't do anything to the metal. It didn't anneal the metal to where it's like tin can and onion, things like that. I was able to bring it all back down to bare metal, and I clear coated everything, and I protected the inside. I even brought that down to bare metal, and I wanted to show the actual real metal of the fender, so in case it does get sold one day or I end up trading it, they'll actually be able to see what's really there instead of it being covered up in bodywork and who knows what you're really buying. So I wanted to do that to make sure that I knew what I had, and protected it, clear coated it, and I had it outside for a good week, just looking at it. And I've always wanted to have a 50 Merc. I've never owned one, and one day I will own one, and I'll have parts for it. So, I was really not wanting to use any parts from it. I wanted to keep it all intact, and I put it up in my attic. I cut a nice big hole in my attic here. I want to put stairs that come down, and I even was looking online on YouTube, and there's guys that are actually making like Frankenstein elevated platforms, and you can go all the way up into your attic. And I'd love to do that one day. Once I redo all this garage area and everything, I'd really like to go with like a mad laboratory scene and do some really cool YouTube videos. And I think that would just be really cool to like bring back like a Svengoolie vibe type thing, but it'd be about cars. And we can go on and on about that, but that's in the future. I want to get big huge Tesla coils and those orbs that you touch, and it's got the lightning that disperses to your fingers and makes your hair go up. I'd like to get a couple big ones of those, put those up in here, and get some test tubes and everything on the walls and make everything look like an old like castle. Get the like the paper stick on wallpaper that looks like old stonework and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But that's all in the future. So with this 50 front Merc here, this bumper, I was thinking about putting it on the back. I took the override bar off already. I have this set aside. I will run this override bar if I do use this, and it's kind of a shame because it's a pretty good bumper. Like this is like driver show quality type chrome here. So, you know, to cut this up is really hard for me to think about doing. But the bumper alone nowadays costs like $2,500 just for the rear bumper, and to cut it up, you know, is kind of crazy. This whole car I think was like $1,200. This was gonna go to the scrapyard and shit. So to put a $2,500 bumper from a 50 Merc on a, you know, $1,200 shoebox that was destined for the graveyard, I don't know, you know, kind of want to save it for a Merc. So I don't think I can do this. You know, I don't think I can cut it up. I don't know. I don't think I can cut it up. So that's something that I've been thinking about for the past like 3-4 days here, and I got it all marked out, ready to cut, and I really just can't bring myself to cut it up, you know. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen there. Do I do it? Do I not? I don't know. But as you can see here, we got the design going here. And there's one thing that I know that I want to do. We have our old spears from up here where they used to be. Okay? Right about there. And the way it looks, it wouldn't look bad back factory, and then just tilt it down so that I could use my tail lights. But if you put them down here, it gives it a nice, it breaks all this flat area up, which is kind of nice. And it'll bring the tail light down to make it kind of simulate a Merc, you know. And then we can bring this body line throughout the panel so far, or just let it go all the way, whatever we can think of here. So, you know, I just don't know if I could bring myself to cutting that Mercury bumper up. That's the thing. And then of course, you know, the override's gonna go back on it where I cut it. I'm gonna cut it down to where I can put that override bar back on it, and you never know it's cut down. And then we'll drill new holes, and you know, that's what we were gonna do here today on this video. We're gonna cut this Mercury bumper down. I mean, there's dings, there's dents on it, but you know, barely noticeable. There's a little bit of bluing on the far side over here. But I mean, I buffed pretty much all of it out. It looks pretty good. And this is all old chrome. Because you can see some of the chrome where it kind of cracked where they were mounting that override bar. And you'd know if it was pre-chrome, because the back, you know, would look a lot better than it does. There's some brown rust color going on the back side. Again, you know, it even came with the mounting brackets as well. So this was a full, complete front end, from headlight buckets to the grill. I got a perfect grill over there with the side turn signal chrome bezels and the whole front end, even the chrome trim that says Mercury 8 on it. I even got that. I even got the hinges for the fenders as well. It was like a full front clip that the guy was getting rid of, and I got it for pretty dang cheap. It was something I couldn't pass up. I had to go travel about 4 hours away to get it, but I think it was worth it. And there's multiple ways to skin a cat, and just hard for me to come to cutting this baby up. So, I mean, I can make one that looks like this, but it's not going to be chrome. I could metal shape what I need, what I think a bumper should look like, reinforce it, do all the metal work. I even got I got some flat plate steel that's like a thick, real nice thick gauge, like a quarter, say like an 1/8 inch. I don't know, I got a couple of different gauges we could use for a reinforcement on a bumper. If I go relocate a shoebox bumper and I modify that, that's a couple $100 instead of doing this. Like I said, I want to get a Mercury one day. The bumpers are so hard to find. All those parts are hard to find, even if you can find them. I just don't think we're going to be cutting this up. I think this is going to go either on the wall or up in the attic as well with the fenders and everything. We'll go up there one day. I'll show you guys all the cool parts. It came with the lower fascia, the whole thing, and it's all real nice solid metal. Nothing wrong with it. I can't believe they got rid of it, but I was happy to grab it, and this would look great, along with this override bar on here. This is like the cat's meow here. It would look very, very pretty with all this on here, especially this override bar and everything. It would look pretty good, but it's just a shame. It's such a hard thing to just cut this stuff up, Well, I'm gonna grab a smoke. So, another thing I want to incorporate into this build that I've had for a long time, looks like we got some primer overspray on one of them, but we got dust and a little bit of primer spray, which ain't nothing. These are glass, so I got these really cool devil head tail lights. I'm sure people have seen this before. It's got this is actually plastic, and then it's got the, I believe, 34 trim bezel. Put that in there, and it almost matches just like the shoebox tail light. So we grab this. This is our spear from our shoebox. And if I put this here, and now when I do this is gonna be recessed. Put this where we really want it to be. Show a good representation. So I would say like this somewhat, and then we would kind of reshape. You know what I mean? And then if we tilt it and we run them like that, this is what you would see from the back. And then that would light up, for the brake light and a combination turn signal. But my lady, she had a great idea where take this, and what a lot of guys will do is they'll take a little round little round tail lights that are about this big, and they'll cut into this, and then the tail light will actually be in the bumperette on the rear. She was saying to me, why not take the chrome tail lights and put them and mount them right in the rear, right like that, you know? And that'd be pretty cool, I think. But you know, again, with the whole cutting up this rear bumper, like I said before, these parts are only made once, and to cut it up, it'd be different if like this bumper was twisted up and it was rusty and nobody needed it for, you know, you couldn't really use it unless you really, you know, worked it out, and nobody would want it. Then I'd have no problem cutting it up and using it, and then re-chroming it one day or something like that. So taking that into account, how nice the chrome is, and stuff's only made once, and you know, it's up to us to kind of really preserve it, and you know, use what we can. You know, like I said, if the car's gonna go to the junkyard, nobody wants it, and it's, you know, not worth much, and you know, there's no original engine, no original drivetrain, all the interior is gone, everything's gone on the car, then, you know, why not make it into a car again and try not to sacrifice another car on top of it. You know, we're trying to bring them back. At least that's how I see it. You know, everybody's got their own opinions, everybody's got their own ideas on things. That's fine, no problem. But you know, when it comes down to me doing this kind of stuff, I try to keep that into consideration. So I'm gonna have to locate, or I'm gonna have to either make my own rear bumper. I'm not gonna use this. We're gonna get rid of this, and we're gonna see what else we can do here, because I just don't see myself cutting this up. You know, again, with this design, where it just did that round shape, you know, I just kept looking at it, and I really didn't enjoy what I was seeing. And with this, there's so much more potential with the design that you can do, and it matches already the feng shui of the whole car, how the front end was done, things like that. So that's another big thing that I try to do, is I try to keep that momentum going through the whole car, so everything looks the same, and it doesn't look, you know, like he did a great job on the front and then he just said fuck it in the rear. You know, I don't want to do that. You know, a Mercury back bumper would look sick on this. I don't think I've seen anybody do a rear 50 Merc front bumper on the rear end of a 50 shoebox, you know. So, I mean, I'm sure there has been one. I just haven't seen it. It's hard to bring myself to cutting this thing up. It would be the only one. And then if this thing ever got in a wreck or anything, you know how hard it would be to find another one? Oh, man. That's not good either. I keep on going back and forth with it. And, man, I don't know what to do there. But, so in the future, you know, all this is gotta get welded up. I gotta put something out through here. Same thing here, all that's gotta get welded up. We still wanna fix the chop. But if I'm noticing that when we're adding this whole sheet of metal all the way down the side here, this chop isn't actually looking too bad now. It's like filling itself out. It's really odd to see that. Now the chop's kind of flowing in with what everything's happening back here. I know we're gonna probably chop the tops of these quarters in the rear and try to protrude outward. The back end of a shoebox is very short, just, and I'm gonna make it a little more lengthy and sleek. And you know, I'm all about using the parts you got laying around. If I keep this bumper, it's gonna, you know, it's only gonna be for a 50 Merc. A lot of guys that have 50 Mercs, they took the whole front end. I think they did like a 56 DeSoto floating grill. They'll take their old grill out and get rid of their bumper, and they'll run like a no bumper, or they'll do like the Barrett's bumpers, which I love the Barrett's bumpers. You know, that wouldn't be too hard to build actually. Would be just a cool looking round tubular bumper. You know, I've never really even seen a Barrett's bumper in real life, but I'm sure I can mimic one in the rear here. Or we do like the front end and how we dip that thing down. You know, we did some really cool shaping with the bumper in the front. Maybe we do that in the rear with something, you know, and freeform it. Take a nice big, like 2-inch exhaust pipe, cut it in a certain couple ways, cut that back out, and then you know, put some chrome paint on it. That would look good. I think that would be pretty cool. And it would be more custom. It wouldn't be your traditional, you know, bumper that you can say, oh, that's from this, that's from this. No, that was full custom made, you know. The front bumper that we did, that I showed you guys, that came from the lower end of a couch. It was the front chrome of a couch, and then we added those bumperettes, and I'm not sure really where those bumperettes came from. I found those at a what do you call it, a swap meet for old car parts and stuff like that. So you know, another big thing I didn't want to leave you guys in the shadows and you guys thinking that, you know, we're gonna keep that one design, you know, even though it was okay. I didn't like it. So we had to do that. We had to change that up a little bit. And if you notice, this whole panel goes all the way down into that lower rocker. So we're bringing that body line all the way through that lower rocker. At least a quarter way through, that rocker is going to have that shape. And we might follow that through to tie that into the front. I don't know what else. Still got some finishing work to do on the tops of the doors. Then that'll be finished. Yep, I just can't see to chop this thing up. That was the whole point of that tonight, you know, showing you guys this, and then we were going to chop that down and we were going to use it. I was going to go for it. But I just keep thinking about it, and it keeps coming back to me where, you know, the stuff's only here once. So I don't think I could do it. I'm just going to leave her disassembled, put her hardware back on, and I think put it up in storage here. So yeah, another thing I'm doing with the attic is, you know, I cut a nice big hole out. I got the passenger front fender the passenger fender and the driver's side fender of the Mercury front clip up there, along with the lower fascia piece that connects the fenders together, that houses the grill. I got both of those parts up there. I have the grill sitting on the wall over there. I wish I could put the whole clip over my door, but I don't want to see that thing crash down, and to do all the framework and everything you have to do to hang that. I mean, in the future, yeah, but right now, let's focus on tasks at hand. I have like 10 renderings of Mercuries and shoe boxes, and they're mostly side profiles. Some of them are front profiles of cars that I want to build, and things in the future where it gets really way more artistic in the metalwork. I try to give every car a vibe, if you will. And I try to keep that going throughout the car. Yeah, with that rear bumper, we're not going to use that. We're going to have to go. We're gonna build our own rear bumper. I think that's what's gonna happen. Either that, or we're gonna locate one. I have an old chrome bicycle. I don't know if it's a reproduction model. I don't know, but I picked it up a long while back, and that's got some shape. But I think the bar that we might use is just too small for what we're looking for. I want to get something big like this, at least a 4 to 5 inch diameter around, so it's big and it's pronounced. And we gotta build a bumperette as well, and we can mimic this design. And I think we're gonna do that too, because those override bars are great. It just gives that bumper a little more stance than it does just being round around the car. So now we have to figure out exactly how we want to make this bumper. We could start out with 3/16 round stock. I could bend the round stock kind of around the way that this bumper looks to get this profile. Tape the whole thing up, protect it, and then make my design off of that, and then metal it in, but it won't have a lot of strength to it. Or I got, I think it's 1/4 inch plate steel, and I have big long channels of it. And I could cut one of those down and bend that into shape, and then cut that down. It would be like a shoebox bumper. The way that those were designed is, they were very skinny, and they just went around the rear of the car. I don't want to go with too round of a shape. It'd be nice to have a flat surface where it kind of looks just like this, where it's like an angle back, and then you got your round on the bottom. So, don't mind me, I'm talking out loud here while we're going. These are all things that I've been mulling over. I'm just trying to really figure out how to get this rear bumper the way that I want it to look. On the 53 Buick that I have over here, this has got split rear bumpers. I'll show you that real quick, and we'll go through several little designs that I'm thinking here. So the first thing that we can look at is we have a design on the 23 T-Bucket where we have a small chrome strip that's about a 1/2 inch going into a spear-like shape that goes over the body, and it hugs the whole side, you know. Now, this here in the middle is actually, if you look at the shape, okay, this is actually a hubcap from a 1954. And what I did was I cut the shapes out of both of these, and I used those for what I call like bumperettes. And then for now, I took it's like stick-on chrome molding, and I used that to cover up the sides to kind of bring that into shape. But this I would love to make, you know, an actual real metal piece and get it chrome. So this design is kind of what I'm looking for, but it's going to get changed. This is something I did on the car to give it a chrome look, give it a little more accent on the rear to dress it up. And you got the spare tire. This is actually a functional front spare tire. The rear tires are huge Mickey Thompson slicks. So that's an actual functional rear spare tire. Then, you know, I did the little chrome bumperettes. And first couple times I drove this car, I have adjustable rear shackles that could bring the rear end about 4.5 inches up and then drop it all the way to about 2 inches down on the ground. So when I first had her, I didn't have the shackles in, and it was about, you know, 3 inches off the ground. And I ended up scraping on this side and that side because they're so low. So I wanted to get the shackles. I brought it up just enough, and I have really no clearance issues at all. But, you know, from driving around, you're going to get your pothole here and there. You know, you better know your roads, things like that. But some paint work needs to be done because, you know, this thing, when you hit it, it really does wants to bring up that front end. And so I got to bring this whole rear end up more, so she doesn't want to do that. So that's that kind of bumper trick there. You know, here's the interior of the T-bucket. I got your functional, you know, cigarette lighter, and then you got your glove box. You put your Lucky Strikes. You know, I got all that velvet laid interior on the box, and then you know, again on the steering wheel, I did the little chrome, I don't know what you'd call those, little spears. And those are all original Stuart Warner gauges. And then I did the radical shifter. And then my lady, she sewed a new seat up. And this is all velvet in there. And then you open up the door. Then it's got small velvet runners. And I'm going to have her do, I'm going to cut out this floor mat and do a really cool design here. And then I'm going to have a center floor mat to cover, you know, that junk there. That's from the tunnel. You know, it's real hard to make carpet sit well. And then, you know, as I have this one just, I keep on putting little parts and things like that on here. And I got some red see-through fuel line I'm going to add. I'm going to get rid of this. I'd love to get the old see-through spark plug wires. That'd be cool. This is a 350 Chevy. It's bored out 10 over for rebuild, I believe. Kind of a mystery engine here. But man, is this thing rowdy, and it's loud as hell. You know, if I had the money, I would love to put a flathead in this baby with, you know, some Edmund heads and some really cool old vintage, you know, racing parts and things like that. But I mean, the money that you'd spend alone on that, be crazy. So this whole front end is from Speedway. It's the chrome Speedway 2-inch drop axle with the wishbones, the chrome wishbones. And that's the front end of her. I don't know if anybody's... I got a couple videos on the channel of that. And I want to change these exhaust pipes. I'm going to have something that comes up, comes down, and then goes back. Alright, now here's the 53 Buick. And if you look, what I did here was I took 56 Pontiac bumpers flipped upside down, and I molded them into the side, and I widow peaked the metal that goes over it and brought it through. You can see, did a little small tail design that leads up into the trunk area, you know. And then you open the trunk, and it's got 2 compartments, you know, one for your hydraulic system, so you can check that out, and then one for your batteries, and then you got your filler, and made that chrome piece out of like some chrome trim I found a while back, and you know, just did up the trunk as best as I could, and it turned out pretty well. Not bad at all. So you do your split chrome bumper design, and these chrome bumpers are pretty hard to find nowadays too. I tried looking for a pair, and I haven't had much luck recently, so that's out. And then if you look over here, there's the grill for the 50 Mercury, and it's like pristine. It's like beautiful chrome. And then I have some valve covers, and I actually, if you look, them MT headers up there, see the holes on the side? Well, I cut those up because they were aluminum, and I needed 2 block-off baffles for these exhaust pipes because they didn't come with it. So that's I used that to do that, and it worked out perfectly. I even had a gasket for it, a metal gasket. So those had to get sacrificed, and actually those MT valve covers now from Mickey Thompson, those are actually going up and are actually getting pretty rare to find because of everybody cutting them up and using them, and you know, they are cast aluminum, so they do break and things like that. Here we'll show 3 here. So this is the side profile of her, and I did the side skirts here where they're actually part of the body, metaled it all in, did all the metal work. And she got the side exhaust, reshaped all that, put a nice big piece of chrome in there, with a couple, you know, some chrome spears going out the front of that. That's all hand done pinstriping, just freehand. Didn't do a template or nothing. So then we got three chrome spears that come out the side as well, so it's kind of got the same feng shui here. Then did the 54 Mercury taillights flipped upside down, and then did some really cool metalwork around all that to give it a really cool look. And then I tinted the taillight housing and put some chrome around on there, so gave it a little bit more. And then we got the 49 Mercury front dash. It's got the Buick Roadmaster. Special was 2 spear. Roadmaster had 4 spears on the center there. So I put the Roadmaster one. This is actually a Buick Special, a 53 Buick Special, and that chrome, I don't know what you'd call that, like cone. I actually picked up from Gene Winfield at a show, and George Barris and Gene Winfield and Voodoo Larry signed my glove box, but I have this glove box on there to run, and I actually have their signatures on another one that I have that I took off, and I got that in storage as well. And then it's got, you know, the four bucket seats here with the center dash, and if you look up here, it's got like the old angel fur design but hybrid style. They're coming up with some cool designs nowadays. And this is the same thing with the like we're doing to the shoebox here. It's called the tub design, where there's no windows, and you open it, you know, you got your, it actually looks really clean looking. Same thing here. So then you just shut her like so. Then I brought back the portholes. When I got her, her portholes were gone, so I just brought back the shape. Did some cool little metal work around the antenna area. Put some spotlights on her where I want them to be, where I think that they should be. Then she's all on just a 1-pump hydraulic system, and she's pretty cool car. She's treated me well throughout the years, and I've done her some great justice. So she's gonna get redone again one day, probably in the next couple of years here. I'm gonna put full air ride system on her. She's gonna get one-off bench seats in the, you know, instead of those, we're gonna get bench seats. Take away the center console. What else are we gonna do to her? I don't know, we'll figure that out once we get there. We might change that design up on the side a little bit more. Might do some really cool stuff, so now we gotta come back to her. Now, that's the bumper. And then this is where I got it ready to be cut. I want to come right in the center of these, cut it, and then shallow on this, and bring it right down to the peak. So then when I cut it on both, I'll take this piece and I'll put it over this piece and shrink it down on both sides exactly the same to where it hugs that body, and then, you know, re-weld that, and I'll be able to know where my holes need to be, because I'll still have a half a hole, you know, on both. So that's what was gonna happen, but I just can't seem to cut this baby up, so I don't think we're gonna do that. And I got the same design going on this side. We'll show you a close-up on this side here. You look through, and you see nothing. That was pretty cool. Maybe put some lights in here or something where it just glows coming out of here at night, and it'll shine off the bottom of this. We might metal this in a little. Thinking about changing this and just bringing it all the way back, and maybe even doing like a third body line. I don't know, probably not. if anything, it would come, this body line would meet into the top of the fender, top of the quarter panel, and then we'll have something that comes back when, after we're done cutting it, that gives it a peak. So we'll see. And what else? Well, we're not, so this is a flop here. You know, we were able to talk a little bit about, you know, what I'd like to do, what I want to do, what I need to do, what I've done. But I think we're gonna end up having to either make our own bumper in the rear here, or find something that I think could be turned into a rear bumper, or try to locate another rear bumper from some other car that, you know, really doesn't matter. Maybe like I've seen one online, I think it was like a 57 Ford, and it was the front rear bumper for like $175. And I wish I would have just went and grabbed those, but I never did. That was like another 3 hours the opposite way. So, you know, just go on a full trip all weekend to go get a couple parts. You know, I have a very high mileage car, and it's just not a good idea for me right now. I gotta wait till I get my truck, things like that. In the future, I'll have a truck and a trailer. The way I got this one was the gentleman actually dropped it off to me, which was really nice of him. You know, thank God he did that. He even threw in a 289 engine with it and like a full drivetrain. He really didn't have to go out of his way and do that, but he did. And, you know, I am forever grateful for that, to have a shoebox again, you know, because before we moved, I had to sell a lot of stuff. My Uncle Chuck's 33 Ford that he's had for a very long time, I had to sell that. The gentleman that I sold it to is deep in the Wisconsin area, and he's enjoying the hell out of the car, which I'm very happy for. And I sold it for a nice, a good deal. You know, he got a great deal on that car, and I'm glad I could sell it to somebody that is enjoying it and working on it, improving it. So that's the greatest thing. You know, I really try to, when I sell a car, I try to find somebody that actually is gonna know and want to work on a car and things like that. I just don't want somebody to buy the car, drive it till it breaks, and then, you know, it sits or something like that. That's hard to hear, but whatever, you know, it's their car. What else? I mean, each and every one of these, they need a little work. Like, I know the 53 Buick that I call BB, BB stands for Big Buick. That was the name that was given to her before I owned her. That car was originally from Pomona, California. She needs a couple adjustments here and there. She needs a shock bracket, a rear shock bracket that busted off her. So we got to re-weld that up so she's good to cruise. She's getting pretty tired in her old age. This one's brand new, the T-bucket here. This thing just wants to go, and you know, it's a great car to cruise and everything, and I'd love to do some stuff to her. She needs some more work, I feel. What she could use is, I think, a rear suspension from I believe they're 32 to 34 Ford Banjo rear end, I believe it is. 30, it could be even 31 to 30 Banjo rear end, where it's got the leaf springs set up in the rear, and it'll just bring her up where she needs to be. Because right now she's sitting pretty low, and I'd hate to mess up the body work and everything. And in the future, she's gonna get a repaint. This is a great show quality driver paint job. And you know how it goes when you start painting something and you make it really, really nice. You don't want to drive it after that because you don't want anything bad to happen to it, And this is almost that quality. And the more you drive a car, the more road wear you're gonna have. You're gonna have rock chips. Shit's gonna happen. So I don't know. Don't paint them up too nice, or else you won't want to drive them. That's for sure. With this shoebox here, I would love to leave her in bare metal and show off the design of it all, but we could do some pretty cool paintwork when it's all done and well, and just showcase all that, that'd be great. Don't want to do it unfinished. A metal car's unfinished to me, but like that 33 Ford that I sold, that looks so great in metal. And these look great in all metal. And so does a 50 Chevy, those look great in all metal when they're slammed down and chopped and everything. There's just some cars that look great in bare metal. It brings you back to like the World War II days with the bombers and the airplanes. The B-52 and the B-51 and the Black Widow and all that. There's a lot of cool stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to do some searching on the internet, try to find a bumper. Maybe I'll take you guys on a cruise next time and we'll go pick up a bumper. I know this week's gonna be hectic for me. I'm trying to find new employment, so I'm going through, trying to find a new job, things like that, just so I have a reoccurring income. Got bills to pay around here. Bills gotta get paid. Before this, I was a production welder at a company. Before that, like I said, I was, an auto body and reassembly, structural, metalwork, everything like that at the old shop before that closed. So we're gonna have to find something here, and so I'm sure on the weekends we'll have time. We'll be able to do a couple videos on the weekends here. So I had a nice little vacation, got a lot done, got to move into my new place. Nice area. I'm able to work on the cars and people aren't freaking out because I'm making noise, and there's a lot of benefit to being out here. So I'm very happy and blessed to have that. And in order for me to keep having that and not selling, my beloved cars that I have, it's good to have a steady income here, so bills can get paid. You don't have to sell everything, because there was a lot of stuff that I wish that I kept that I had to sell because, one, I couldn't transport it. I didn't have the means to, get a trailer and all that kind of stuff. I barely had enough to, do what we did. So thank God everything worked out, and I'm sure everything's going to continue to work out. We're going to keep doing videos on her, and like I said, we're going to cut this bumper up, but I can't seem to cut it up. We're gonna save it for a 50 Merc, I think, and this 50 Merc I'm gonna get. We're gonna do some really subtle paint tricks, and we're gonna kind of leave that Merc just the way that she is. I don't even think we're gonna get a chopped one, and she's just gonna get laid out flat, and it's just gonna look so nice. So I think we're gonna save this stuff for that one. I already know. So this isn't the best chrome, but it's definitely good chrome. I would give this I would give this chrome a solid 8, 8.5. So I can't seem to cut it up. Like I said, I have to finish weld all this, but I really don't need to do that right now. I'd like to get the rest of the back end done. So I really need to locate a rear bumper for this. Once all that's welded, then I'll just start to continue everything, weld everything up. Then I'll have to probably go get a new bottle. That'll be another $100, So that's why I'm trying to get everything tacked up. And I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a rush to do this. I have no deadline. I'm not going anywhere. So finally, I'm able to relax and not have to worry if I'm gonna have to move. Because we used to rent, and renting, you have to do it, especially if you need a garage. You gotta rent a house with a big enough garage. It's hard to trust friends, things like that. So I did that, and you never know when the guy's not gonna give you another lease, or something happens with the village. With us, the village actually came down on the property owner. They deemed the property an uninhabitable structure because of how outdated everything was. So we actually had so long to get out of that place, and the guy congratulated us on everything that we did for him. We painted the inside for him. We cleaned the hell out of the place. When we moved into it, it was gross. The walls, I think, there was some stuff on the walls that who knows what it was, but I made sure that we soaped the whole place down. We painted everything, made it look nice, so we could entertain our car club at our place and not feel like it was bad. So we tried to make the best of what we had. Cleaned everything, even though everything was old and tattered, it was clean. Half the electrical, everything was, the lights would just flicker out of nowhere for a long time, and if you use too much power in the garage, you'd blow the circuit. Just keep pushing forward. No matter what you're doing in life, as long as you keep doing what you love and you keep pushing forward and you give it your all, you'll be fine. And always make sure you find room to live your life as well. Do things that you love to do. Don't just work yourself to the bone for somebody, because by the time you blink, you're going to be 60-something years old and you think, holy shit, all I did was work, and I kind of feel that way, I love being around cars and I love doing this. I would do this 24/7 if really I was able to. And it's hard to pull me away and go do things other than things to do with cars. I love going to museums with cars, car museums, anything to do with that. So you got to take a break with everything, and you have to really find balance, and just keep having fun, because by the time you know it, your life's so fast. I just went to a wedding that my cousin, she just got married, and I was able to see all my older relatives and things like that, and that's what we really got to talking about was, live your life before you find that you don't have much life left to live. So, that's always a good thing to think about. Try to live your life every day like it was kind of your last, but make sure that you think of the future as well. So we'll get this baby done. She'll get done. I got tires. I got brand new tires waiting. That's going to be another 110. Then we just start nickel and diming this baby together. This is where everything will start, costing a little bit of cash, and that's how it goes. Building a car, you don't want to just throw it together and pray. You want to do it as best as you can and try to put all new stuff so it doesn't break right away. So many tips and tricks we're going to be getting into when it comes to engine work and you know, even trying to get stuff out and things like that, using heat, and we'll get into all that. So it's gonna be a process with her. I'm trying to make this a year deadline. I'd like to get this done by October. This whole car, painted, bodywork, engine running, you're going down the street with the license plates on it to a show by October 31st. That's my deadline. But if not, then next year, you know. But I want to get this done in a considerable short amount of time. My first one took, I believe it was like 7 years. The second one was 4 years, and I tried to work on it as much as I could, but with everything going on in my life and all that, you know, there was a lot going on, and it was hard to find time to be able to work on the car, especially where I was able to work on the car and stored the car was my place of work, and you know, I wasn't able to stay there late at night, things like that. So here I could work all night. I could get off of work, I could come in here, work all night. Weekends come, you know, cut the grass real quick, do what I gotta do around here, and then switch my gears onto this baby. So I think in the next build, I'm gonna think out everything I wanna do to the car, to the T. You know, exactly what I think I wanna do. We'll do a simple build, but yet change everything a little bit. And I believe I can get that car done in probably 6 months, I bet you. If that's almost all I'm doing, I bet you I could knock it down all the way to 6 months. So that's the goal. The goal in life is to try to build as many as I can, but don't rush it. Make them look great. All one-off vision in my brain that I think of. I have future builds in my head that I really want to do. It just depends on what car I grab, you know. So again, I'll keep you guys posted. There might not be another video for maybe a week or so because I got to locate a bumper, and I got a lot of stuff in my personal life that I need to take care of as well, with being in a new area, and just got to start really, you know, getting down to what needs to be done here. So again, you guys, thanks for tuning in, and again for all the comments and everything. You guys are great. Again, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, you guys. There's gonna be a lot more videos coming, so we'll be doing this as long as we can. So again, you guys, until next time, stay tuned. Thanks again for tuning in to Dead Slate Customs. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one, everybody. Stay safe.